are you taking home? What are you learning from your home? What are you teaching from your home that was passed on to you that you're passing on to your children? And, there are many, different spiritual gifts that we can have, whether it be prayer, whether it be, love of the Eucharist, or it can be adoration towards Our Lady. There are many gifts that our church provides. There are many spiritual things involved in our church. And I think for me, and I'm probably preaching to the choir here, is being involved in the church community. You being here tonight, being a part of what's going on tonight, and being a part of your church community, that is really a reflection of something that started in your home, and it was probably passed on to your parents from their parents. And again, it's now up to you to take those gifts and take them to a different level. My family, they live in Dallas, Texas. I maybe get to see them once a year, maybe hopefully twice a year. But the things that I learned in the home, the discipline from my dad, the support of my sister, the faith of Esperanza, the strong-willed determinedness of Edna, these are things that will carry with me that I'll hopefully someday pass on. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get married and have children, but I do have godchildren, and that's something that I'll definitely look to pass on to them. And at the end of the day, it's all about the big picture here is just supporting what we've been taught and making sure that our lives are a reflection of that, because that's really how you can give back to your parent. That's really how you can show that you've learned from them, that you love them, that you can remember the instruction that was told in Proverbs 1:8. You can realize that this is a way that you can honor your parents, as was stated in Ephesians 6:2. So, your life and your example is a reflection of the values that you've been taught. And, don't be afraid to maybe create your own value, to create things that maybe your parent didn't teach you, that you want to especially teach your child. And, for me, the thing that probably stands out that maybe it wasn't brought is not being afraid to go outside your home. Like I said, I left home when I was 19. I moved into a place and haven't been home since. I feel that the best way to show the values I have is to step outside of the comfort zone, if you will. To go to a different school. I went to school at the University of Tennessee. I did go to the University of Texas first, but then eventually on to the University of Tennessee. So again, it was about stepping outside. My first job was in Atlanta, Georgia. It's about taking these values on the road. It may be safe to have these values when you're here at home, but you really get tested when you do step outside your home. So I feel that's something the Lord has placed within me. That's a responsibility that I have. I'll finish with Bill Cosby. He says, in spite of the 6,000 materials on raising your children in bookstores, child raising is still a dark continent, and no one really knows anything. You just need a lot of love and luck, and of course, courage. So, thank you very much. I appreciate being here. God bless. Oh yes, I'm open for questions and answers on anything, things you want to know about. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Very good. Well, what's interesting, there's 3 women in the picture, and I'm between Esperanza's right in front of me, and my sister Lisa's kind of over my shoulder on the left, and Edna's there on the right. The thing, I guess, to summarize their relationship, again, they're all kind of 180 of each other. But at the end of the day, it's that mix of those 3 women that, help make who I am, are very much responsible for who I am. Have very much had a large impact on who I am. And, at one time, they were all in the same house together. And there's an old saying that, more than one woman in the kitchen may not, make the meal perfect. And, it could be, there were 3 types of discipline going on towards me from all 3 of those women. But at the end of the day, it was who they are, and it was done with love. And again, I wouldn't trade them for anyone, and I'm very fortunate to have had them. So, but thank you. Yes, we do.
Your dad, I think years ago you told me this thing. Also, your dad's kind of push for you to be independent, to be a man on your own.
Definitely, him, the whole family. I was raised to be independent. I was raised to be my own person. I remember many times asking Edna, I'm going to sweep the floor, I'm going to mop the floor, I'm going to vacuum the floor. Edna was real big on making sure the room was clean. Pick up your clothes off the floor. Is your bed made? And to this day, I try to make sure my house is clean because I'm afraid there's going to be this knock on the door, and she's, I'm here to see your living room. And I do remember her saying, your bedroom you can cut some slack on because you can always close the door, and people aren't supposed to go in there. But your living room and your kitchen, they always got to be spotless. So, again, she's, all of them definitely very instrumental. But Dad, as much as a disciplinarian that he was or that he is, he's also very much a stand-up comedian and doesn't even know it. Very, very jovial, always cracking a joke, always making the mood light, and considering a lot of things that he would have to go through or that he has gone through. No doubt that that sense of humor came in handy, especially going through my disability. He was very much that person that had to put on the big floppy shoes and the big red nose, and it definitely made a lot of fun times and when there was a lot of difficulty. So he definitely has, and even to this day, it will be that person that is probably the funniest person in our family. So very definitely glad that he was there and still is there. So, yes. How did I get involved with the U.S. Paralympic rugby team? I started when I moved to Atlanta. I actually worked for the Atlanta Paralympic Organizing Committee remember the '96 Olympic Games. We also had the Paralympic Games. Paralympic Games are for people with physical disabilities, just like the Olympics. They happen once every 4 years and in the same venues. Some of you might have seen them on NBC as well. They showed them on TV for the first time. So it was there that I heard of wheelchair rugby, and at that time it was called murder ball. It was developed by the Canadians. They invented it in the late 70s, and they brought it to the States in the 80s, and we changed it to wheelchair rugby to try to make it more sponsor-friendly and fan-friendly. In '88 they formed a league, and in '96 there was an Atlanta team, and I was asked to be a part of the Atlanta team, and we would come over here to play the Birmingham team, and that's kind of how I got acquainted with Lakeshore and Birmingham. And then subsequently in '98 I was offered a job, and so in '98 I started playing rugby here, and we were the best team. I'm not going to say when I got here that's why we became the great team, but it wasn't a coincidence. I'll leave it at that. So for 5 years we dominated. We won the championship every year. We would just destroy teams. And when you start winning championships, that's going to get the attention of the United States Olympic Committee. And when you become part of the United States Olympic Committee, it's a whole different ball game. They want you to go to tournaments, and they drug test you, and they make you sign codes of conduct saying you're not going to get in trouble, you're not going to take illegal substances. And you also got the benefit of having nutritionists and personal trainers, even a sports psychologist. So had all these services available, and of course Lakeshore Foundation. They are an official Olympic and Paralympic training site, so having that facility was very beneficial. So that got me on the radar, and I, in 2001, made what we call the High Performance Training Program, which would align me to be a part of the U.S. Paralympic team. First, I had to make the World Championship team, which I did, and we won the silver medal. And then in 2004, the Paralympic Games, where we won the bronze medal. And I've never worked so hard in my entire life. I was in the U.S. program for 7 years, and it very much is a commitment. It is a lifestyle. It very much is walking the straight and narrow. But I enjoyed every minute of it. This was a unique opportunity to represent my family, my country, our God. And I didn't want to do it in a haphazard way.